Welcome to the 10th episode of the Art DINER podcast. Let's grab a coffee and chat about the recent happenings in the art industry. Today is a really exciting episode because it is a milestone of sorts, reaching a double-digit episode. Woo! It makes me feel so proud for keeping up with the weekly episodes.
Insert clap sounds,
Clap, clap, clap.
clap, 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 clap.
Because it is more of a special one, in this video we're going to do more fun stuff, like play a game and answer some follower questions. So tune in for this delightful 10th episode and let's do 10 more.
Yeah, not the usual boring stuff that we do, actual fun stuff this time.
No. Yep. So moving on to our questions and answers part of the show, we both asked on Instagram if you guys had any questions for us, and well, apart from the "are you sane?" or someone sending me their photo with someone holding up two balloons so they look like their boobs.
What?
Believe it or not, we actually got some questions that we can answer too.
Wow.
So first one would be, are you going to be in the Con Baltics this year?
Ooh.
I personally can say that I will skip this year since I don't have any merchandise at the moment due to my other project. But in the future, I hope I can table there in the Artist Alley and meet all of you guys. What about you, Rita?
Well, I will be tabling at Con Baltics this year.
Woo!
So, woo! So, yeah, see you there, I guess. You better be there, that is.
What will you be selling? Can you give us a sneak peek?
Same old, same old. I'll be selling prints. I'll be selling keychains, maybe, if they're not sold out, and pens, and zines, and maybe even a new comic. Maybe. Allegedly.
Are you preparing the for another con?
Woo! Yeah, October is gonna be busy, because there's Con Baltics, like, what is it, 25th? Something 22nd, and then a week after it's MCM London.
Oh, a week after. Okay.
Yeah, so it's one weekend, one con, and then on Thursday I'm flying away to London to the other con. I'm gonna be dead.
You're gonna do a little warm-up before?
Yeah, because Con Baltics is it's chill for me. I don't have to fly anywhere. You just sit. Like, I'm not even driving because I don't have a driver's license, so
Privilege.
yeah. So I'm like, what is it, 31, and I don't have a driver's license. It's like, shame. So yeah, my friend will probably take me there, allegedly, and yeah, and I just have to unpack and just sit my ass there, and that's it. And to go to London, it's like you have to pack up a suitcase, you have to fly, go through security, get the hotel, then get to the venue by taxi, and it's like, and Con Baltics is like the same venue every year, so you more or less know where are you going, what time everything is. It's like, it'll be like a nice warm-up. So I'm quite happy that, I'll get to warm up and then I'll go to the big event.
I don't think I even attended Con Baltics before.
Oh.
Didn't they like join with Game On together? Because I went to Game On before.
I think that was once. And I think that was when I did not attend Con Baltics because I was still. But I'm excited to see who else is there, because I have no idea, because Con Baltics has this thing where they don't announce artists except like for the guest artists. So I have no idea who's gonna be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a surprise. Are you having a full table, right?
Oh yeah. But in London I'm having a first time ever. So I'm a bit like,
will everything fit?
Yeah, I'm not less in the commie. It was very hard to fit everything. So for a half table, I'll have to like pick just the best of the best, basically, which is fine.
Cool. Moving on to the next question. Do you have any tips for using color? Do you want to take this one, Rita?
I have a general tip that you have to know what you want. It's a general tip because a lot of the times when I have to give critique to people, I always ask the first question. What did you want to achieve? This is where people get very confused and very like, I don't know. And this is where I send them to collect references. So my tip would be to know what you want, collect some references that would help you show your vision, basically. And this is how you'll be able to sort of arrange your colors, at least have some kind of a backbone to help you represent what you want. So that would be my tip.
Yeah, that's a helpful one. For me, I think it's just everything standing on the theory of color theory. I think you can look into that in terms of which color reacts with the other color in what way. You know, we have complementary, we have monochromatic color schemes. You can just check those out, and I think having the knowledge of that will help you use them in your pieces. Plus, like Rita said, knowing how you want to use it, because we can use cold colors for something that's like a sad painting, and we can use warmer colors for a cheerful painting. So having a sense of why you want to use a certain color would also really benefit your pieces.
Can I just interrupt and go on the tangent a little bit? Back in uni, because you mentioned cold and warm colors. So back in uni, I was a rebel in a way. Well, not a rebel, like a lame rebel. Because there was an assignment. I don't remember what it was about, but I wanted to experiment. Basically, I drew like a horror drawing, and my thesis was, is it still scary if, I make the colors warm? So it's like a scene. There's a little girl in her room on her bed, and there's like creepy stuff coming under the bed. So I made one image in cooler colors and then the other image in warmer colors to see if it still works. Like the image is still creepy, I guess, but the warmer ones become more uncanny, become more strange. Maybe it's a third tip. You can experiment with that and see what works.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes you can get something cool or unusual, basically, if you're going for unusual.
So I hope that answers your question. Moving on to the next one. How do you deal with burnout? Yes, I love your art, XX. Firstly, thank you so much. And now, talking about burnout is a really serious topic, as it only happens if the work ethic you're having is flawed, in my opinion. So having a balanced schedule for work and for resting time will help you avoid those burnouts in the first place. And if you ever find yourself in a place where you just need to pump out a drawing after drawing, then maybe after that period of intense work, try to relax, do some other hobbies away from work and drawing. Maybe watch some shows or, game, read a book. Basically, allow space for yourself to heal up and rest, and never feel bad about doing that. If any of you guys are also like really hard on yourselves for not improving enough and stressing how to find work, keep it in mind that if you rest for a little bit, you can and will always come back stronger. So that's my 2 cents on this question. What do you think, Rita?
Not much to add. Yeah, rest is super important. And for some people who are chronic workaholics, not me.
Me.
Rest can be anxiety inducing, basically. What I mean is that you feel like I should be working. I should be why am I not productive,
Yep.
But you have to understand that your brain is playing tricks on you a lot of the times. I think just acknowledging flaws in yourself is really helpful. Acknowledging that it is an addiction. It's the same as like alcohol addiction or something. It's like, imagine that you're in a little meeting room with your peers and you're like, hello, my name is Rita and I'm a workaholic. I've heard a quote, like your inner self creates the outer shell, basically. So the things you say to yourself inside creates your outer persona. So really be careful what you say to yourself, in your mind. If you tell yourself like you've done enough, like this is enough, you're enough, because most of the time people who have issues with work, they're doing enough. Maybe they're not allocating their time properly. This is a different question. You might be working too hard on things that maybe you shouldn't be even working on. That's a different question.
Yep.
But other people are just pushing too hard. So it's like telling yourself that this is enough and telling yourself that you need to rest.
I think that's what I meant with like the work ethic being flawed, is when, sometimes in our life we have a period of like, maybe we're having university graduation projects, and obviously those deadlines are kind of a really heavy toll on our schedule, and we cannot really change anything about that. We just have to push through it. But other times we might be at fault of scheduling too much work for ourselves and having too little time scheduled for resting as well. So I think if you're in that second space and you're getting burnouts from that, I think then try to just rest a little bit. Try to open up your schedule for that rest. And I think it will overall improve the quality of your work as well, because you will approach any new artwork with a sense of like, I really want to do this, instead of, oh, I have to do this because it's scheduled. That will also improve, your artwork, your mood, everything like that. So that would be my tip for this. The next person said, not a question, but more kitty pics, please. I will keep this one in mind. If you want to see my cats, go follow me on Instagram. Link will be in the description. A bit of a plug. So yeah, that would be it for the questions this time. Thank you so much for asking, guys. We can do another Q&A in the future. If anyone has any questions for me or Rita, just drop them in the comment section or whenever we ask on Instagram stories, and we will 100% get to them eventually. Now let's get into the fun part, shall we? We whipped up some would you rather questions for us to babble over. So without any further ado, would you rather, Rita, only drink coffee or only drink tea for the rest of your life?
Oh, that's so easy. I mean, I'm only drinking tea right now. It's not even like a choice.
Really? I'm literally drinking coffee as we're speaking. It's crazy.
What about you? Because for me, I can't drink coffee. I can only drink coffee in certain occasions when I'm well rested, after lunch, before my lunch nap, basically.
Why is that?
Because coffee makes me anxious.
Okay.
It makes me insane.
Jittery.
I like the taste of coffee, but I rarely drink it.
I see. Then it's an easy one for you then. For me, it's hard because I always need to vary between my caffeine intake. If I only drink coffee during the day, it's gonna be very hard for me to like maybe sleep at night later. If I drink 5 coffees a day, I'll also be jittery. So I have to limit myself. So every day I have like a kind of like a schedule for coffee. I do 1 in the morning, then 1 around noon, maybe 1 afternoon. So around 3 coffees, and then I know that like I'm not going over that caffeine intake.
3 coffees.
And in between,
3 coffees a day.
Oh yeah, around that. And
around that, sometimes it's 5.
Yeah. It could be 4 or 5 sometimes if I'm having like deadlines, or maybe that day I'm like super sleepy for no reason. 5
coffees. Wow.
But in between those periods, I need to drink tea because I want to drink something warm, but I don't want to do coffee again because it's bad for my body. So I just drink tea. So it's a hard question for me because I mean, I would obviously choose coffee and then just try to drink water instead. But I really am stuck on both of these. The next question would be, would you rather have a dog or a cat?
Interesting. I have 2 cats right now, and I think I need a break from animals. But in general,
from animals. I meant from a cat.
But I would, if right now I didn't have any cats anymore, and I would need to choose. I would choose a dog because I didn't have a dog. Like we had a dog. My family had a dog, but it wasn't like my dog. So I was a kid back then, and not as responsible as I am right now. So I would be curious to have a dog right now and to see how the dog is gonna change me into a better person. Hopefully, make me go out more.
For me, I have to say I love my cats. But I really want a Pomeranian. So I would definitely choose a dog over this. And I think the fact that I had cats all my life is kind of tying into this, that like I'm done with having cats.
Yeah.
Like I know how I really like having them though, but because, a cat is sort of like, they have their character, usually like a certain personality. And a dog is kind of usually, if you're its owner, it's gonna just follow you around and you're like a god to them. While a cat is like, it's a blessing if it comes to you to lay on you.
Oh yeah? Oh my god,
yeah,
my cats love to be pet.
Yeah, they love to be pet, but they have this like arrogance to them, which I don't mind. I think it's nice because you kind of, it's very how do I say this? Human, but it's not what I mean. It's just more like I can talk to this animal and I feel like I'm talking to a friend, because they have a certain characteristics to them that reminds me of like a friend, that I don't know.
And then they lick their butthole and you're like, you know what? They're still cats. you know, because
Yes.
my dad would say like, when I look at our male, our oldest cat, who's like 19 at this point, or close to 19,
Mm.
he's like, he has this very serious look on his face, and it feels like at any moment he will say something very, very smart and intelligent, and then he licks his butthole, and you're like, yeah.
It's a cat.
It's
After all.
just a cat.
True.
All right. So, would you rather be on a survival reality show or a dating game show?
Oh my god. Ah, that's a hard one. I would say probably dating show, because I feel like it requires less of the perseverance, like
Yeah.
physical endurance.
Yeah.
And I'm really weak. All I can do in a survival game is like stick to a group and kind of like weasel my way into the strong people group and just stay there with them. I think that would be my strategy for the survival game. But I feel like dating one wouldn't require that much endurance. It would just probably be more about the emotional side of things. But I assume that people who go on these reality TV shows for dating, they don't probably actually have all of their emotions out on the table. They're probably acting to a certain point. At least from the ones I've seen, like Too Hot to Handle on Netflix, those ones. They're very like over the top, and it's like, are these people actually real? So I think there is some acting to it. So you're not actually being all out there with your emotions, and you're not opening yourself up to everyone. So it would be, I guess, pretty fun.
From what I've heard, that in dating any reality shows, like, people are usually real, but it's the producers who will push you or push the people to do really, really crazy things. They will ask really, really provoking questions, or tell the participants to ask each other very provoking questions.
Yeah, of course, they have to make it all entertaining, so they have to get that emotion out of people. I think also, if I went to audition in any of these type of like either survival or dating shows, I would not get picked. I think the producers also do half of their work, I think, is the auditioning part. That's when they actually pick out these personalities, which are so different and so unique and maybe strange sometimes. Even on survival shows, you always have someone who's like really strange, like a hippie or something. They pick like someone who's unconventionally thinking than all of the other society, so that people at home, when watching, they can be like, oh, this guy is so dumb, I would never think like this, blah blah blah, because you kind of need your viewers probably to feel that way. So they do this, I assume. So I think I would not even pass any of the auditions for these games. What about you, though? Which one would you pick?
Both seem very interesting to me. I was thinking about, survival games are very like intense physically. So maybe I would have to, like, if I would get to a survival one, I would just have to train a bit, which I don't mind. But if I would have to choose right now on the spot, I would choose a dating one, and I would go there to win.
It's always a money prize.
It's like love. I'm there to win, baby.
There's one Korean show which I really like. It's called Love Catcher. It's basically about people going in with one intention. So they have to pick whether they're in it for love or for the money. And whenever they match up with someone else in the show, at the very end of the show, like very last episode, they reveal if they were in it for the money or for the love.
Oh no.
And if they were in it for the money, they just get to pick the money because they were picked by, someone else.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool.
But that's so interesting, because in the end you'll get a couple, and then one of them is like,
yeah,
I really like you, I'm here for love. And then the other one's like, I'm gonna pick the money, thank you.
yeah, that's how it was actually. They have 2 seasons out, so I really recommend watching them if you're into this type of shows. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. So here it's more art related questions.
Okay.
Would you rather draw in only traditional or only digital for the rest of your life?
Well, I'd say traditional. I haven't drawn traditional in ages, and I did pick up pencil drawing last year, but I kind of dropped it for quite some times. But it is my goal to eventually just jump straight to traditional only, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think it would be harder to find a job with this though?
I mean, my goal is not to find a job. My goal is for the job to find me, basically.
Hmm.
Like, I want to get so good. Like, do you think Kim Jong-ji?
Kim Jong-un? Yes.
Do you think Kim Jong-mi
Sorry.
was searching actively for a job? Do you think that, managers were like calling everyone, can you please employ our poor Kim Jong-mi? He really needs a job. Like, no. At some point in any kind of profession, you become so good at something that people will reach out to you to work with you. So for me, digital traditional is just a tool. I just enjoy being by a screen the whole day. Is just really, really exhausting. I just want to preserve my vision as much as possible, basically. And traditional is something that I haven't done properly, except for when I was at school. I used to paint when I was at school. That's crazy. I have no idea how to paint right now or to mix colors properly. It's like starting from zero for me. And it's really scary. It's so scary. But at the same time, I even have like a place reserved in the studio where I can do traditional art, basically, only because it's something that I want to slowly move forward to and learn more and more. Yeah.
I would probably pick digital because all of the stuff that, at least at the moment, that I like doing kind of would not be possible without digital. Like all of the illustrations for games, concept art for maybe movies or something like that I want to do. Even when it comes down to merchandise, I feel like stickers, it would be really hard to do non-digitally, and it would just have like a different type of style to it. And I like the digital style way more. So I would have to say I would stick with digital, even though traditional is really fun for me. And I would love to get into like painting in acrylics or oils on actual canvas. That would be so fun for me. But I kind of would need space for that now. So
yeah,
I don't have that. And in the future, I would love that. But definitely not focusing on that solely. But, we say one thing and then things change, our mindset changes. So for now, that's my answer, but I would see how it goes.
When it comes to space, like it's space and also buying supplies, it can be
that kind of costs money.
But I've seen, the more I look at my favorite artists or artists I admire, I'm like, wow, they draw here. Like they have this small space and then they have this canvas, and of course that corner is a mess and stuff, but it's like I always have had in my head that idea that you need a lot of space, for painting. And then I see, some of the artists I like and they're like, oh, I just paint in this corner. No big deal.
With the space, I meant more about a space where I could have like, what are they called? The thing that keeps up the canvas. What about this?
Easel.
Yes. So I would just need an easel to place on some place. But what I meant with the space is a space where I could open both windows and it would get the paint smell out very quickly.
Yeah.
Or a space where I wouldn't need to pick up everything and put it down after I'm done drawing. Just like a more comfortable area where I could do this stuff, because, paint splashes around and I don't want that on, if I have a bedroom, it can go on the bed. I don't want that. So I think it's more about not that area being spacious, rather than having a dedicated space to just come in, do the thing, and then leave.
Yeah, right. So, would you rather have a cook or a maid?
Oh, I have to pick one.
Yep.
I don't know. When it comes to trusting people, I would be like, if I was ever at a point where I had that much money to hire someone, I would have a hard time trusting like a maid not to go for my things. Probably they sign NDAs or something, but if people still steal and with the cook, I feel like that wouldn't happen as often. But at the same time, I feel like a maid would be more useful because doing chores, cleaning everything, and I like my place really clean. So that takes a lot of time. I actually enjoy cooking, or I could have always just deliver things to me with the delivery service. That's my thought process in this. So I would probably choose the maid. What about you?
Yeah, it's a difficult question. And I think I would choose a cook. To explain that is basically having someone to clean my space would be awesome. But at the same time, I like the place to be clean in a specific way, But the main reason for me to have a cook is that I would really want to have, a very good diet. Like a very good, like I love to cook, by the way. I really, really love to cook. But I am so busy. Like if right now you would need to, like I can live with a bit of a mess in my room. However, if I would get like nice, stable meals, nice, stable, healthy meals, I think that would be amazing, And I can say like, hey chef, I'll be cooking, on the weekends. You don't have to come. But like on work days, they can cook like nice meals for me. So
would you rather not be able to use Ctrl-Z, the undo command, or not be able to use the flip canvas horizontally command?
I mean, I could just bring a mirror for the flip horizontally command.
Just have a mirror.
Yeah.
On your monitor.
No, just kind of, I've seen like a video of like Junji Ito, how he draws and stuff, and he always has he doesn't have a mirror to, I'm sure he also uses this mirror to, to flip the drawings and see, but he also uses it for like, to look at his face. It's like he's drawing, and then a second later, he's like looking in the mirror and it's like, whoa. Anyways, so let's imagine that there is no mirror, okay? Yeah. I would still pick flip horizontally, only because I'm just so used to using an eraser, and if I'm painting, I'm just used to painting on top of things. I mostly use Ctrl-Z for work, probably. Well, I can't say. It's really hard. It's really hard to imagine because as you draw, you don't really count how much you use Ctrl-Z.
Yeah, you don't realize how much you're actually pressing it. I want to do one of these for the YouTube channel. I want to do one of these challenges where you're not allowed to use Ctrl-Z for the whole painting, just to see like if my idea of how much I use it, because I would also pick having the flip the canvas horizontally and would say no to the Ctrl-Z, but maybe my idea is a bit too idealistic. Maybe I'm using it like nonstop, so
yeah.
So I really want to try doing that challenge just to try it out.
And cry. Do it live so that people hear you, hear your frustrations. Like, it's like you start the video off with like, I don't usually use Ctrl-Z. I'm fine. And then, no.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a problem. There's the eraser tool for a reason.
For a reason. Yeah, definitely do that.
Well, we can do one more, I think.
Yeah.
And that would be...
Okay, I have a spicy one. Well, not spicy, just... Would you rather lose your vision or your hearing?
Oh my god. That's a dark one. My vision or my hearing? Probably I would rather lose my hearing if, obviously, we don't get to choose, So, I don't know, it's really dark, this one. But I feel like everything that I love doing, except for music, but everything that I kind of love doing is involving having to see. Art is my main thing. So with the music, I don't know, I would say no to that one if I had to, but I always think of like, if I ever, get into an accident and I lose my sight, what would I even do? And then I would be like, oh, I'd probably go to music.
Yeah.
So
same.
If I lose either one of these, I would just go to the other side. Because it's all just a creative expression in my eyes. And
eyes.
I feel like with the art, yes, it's a very dark joke. We are creatives, and I think that in any type of thing that life would throw to us, we would find a way to still create. There's people without hands, unfortunately, and they're still painting somehow with maybe their legs or stuff like that. So I think that with a really big want, you can still push through all of these unfortunate events that might have happened to you.
Yeah, same. I totally agree. I also have these thoughts of like, if something happens and I lose my vision, I will go into music as well. Exactly the same. Yeah, I think I'll choose eyes as well. It's gonna be very sad not to hear music again because I really love listening to music, but at the same time, I think at this point I've heard enough music to at least have memories memories of it and imagine. But yeah, a lot of my life revolves around visuals at the moment, so it's even super surreal and depressing to even imagine losing my vision. But yeah, I always tell myself that, hey, if you can't see, you're free from the art curse. You're free. Get ready to get into the music industry.
From the art curse. Time to get rich. Finally.
Yeah. I'll get into music and I'll definitely become rich.
Of course, that's how it goes.
Yep.
That wraps up our episode for this week. And guys, if you have any topic suggestions or ideas, please share in the comments below. Drop a like on the video since it helps us reach more listeners. Thank you for sticking out until the end, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.